welcome everyone to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame to his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
And with us here also, looks like a disheveled, magnificent son, X.
Oh, how come? Why is he got to be all disheveled? Why do you guys say that about him, your little brother?
As he's popping gum in his mouth in the show.
Are you trying to say he hasn't even brushed his teeth?
I know he hasn't shaved. Look at that. Look at that, Grumpy. Look at all that.
Scroungy. Why do you look so scroungy, Lewis?
What can I say? I don't know.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Anyway, the magnificent son, X. How are you, X?
X time, let's get it.
X time, let's get it. Now, why are you using the background, X? You don't need to use the background.
I'm using the background.
You need to get some better lighting because, well, where you're looking pixelated is all good out there, X.
My face looks fine. It's fine. Just go on with it. All they need to do is hear my voice. It's a podcast.
Well, it's interactive, X. That's why we have the video platform. But
I think you're just jealous because my background's better than yours.
That's it. You got me. For those who are new to the channel, new to the show, welcome. This is an all sports podcast that takes place every single Sunday. Usually it's anywhere between about 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to right now, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time is around the start time for today's show. So if you're new to the channel, you like the content that we produce, there's a few things that you need to do to make sure that you get caught up to date and kept in the loop anytime we go live. You want to make sure you subscribe on YouTube, right? So you make sure you don't miss out on any of our future episodes, and also like the video. If you like the video, it lets us know that you like the content that we produce, and also, right, it helps tickle the algorithm. It helps get this podcast out to the masses. For today's episode, this is pretty much just playoff time, ladies and gents. It's playoff season. You got the NFL playoffs are in full swing. The college football playoffs are in full swing. You got a lot of big football news to talk about here. I don't know about you guys. I haven't made the total transition to college basketball just quite yet. I've been watching a few games here or there, but I feel like that's going to be, later on this month, all throughout February and March is when I'm going to start heavily watching some college basketball.
As soon as football ends, it's kind of a down period for sports.
Well, you still do the NHL.
Yeah, and you got basketball, college basketball and stuff.
College basketball, boo. It's nowhere near as good as it used to be.
Okay.
It just isn't. It isn't.
When Christmas time comes around, what's your favorite saying? Bah humbug.
Yep. That's it.
Look at that.
Look at poor X. He seems very unhappy today.
I know. It's like he had a whole bunch of money on some games, just betting, and he lost everything.
Is that true, Mr. X?
No, that's another individual that we know.
Oh, there it is. But I do want to go ahead and talk a little about some college football playoffs, ladies and gents. My record has now been moved to 5. Was it? I think 6-2. Actually, I'm sorry.
Okay, there's not even been that many. Why don't you say you're 15-2? It just makes shit up.
Crazy proportions, Grump.
There's been 8 games played.
Yeah, I'm 6-2. 6-2. What's wrong with that?
What's X 5-3?
X is
I got Shaq to do the ASU game where they didn't call targeting penalty.
I think that
Grump, you're 2 and whatever, Grumpy. You're the exact inverse of me. So whatever.
I picked Notre Dame to win.
You're 5-2. You're 5-3, X.
Yeah.
And you know what, TJ will probably he'll wait until you make a selection before he picks one.
You think that's only
It's Ohio State, hands down.
Well, okay, let's control yourself, huh, X?
Control what?
I want to talk a little about the games.
He's very feisty.
Talk about the games. We are right now. Ohio State's winning.
Okay.
Why is X? He's very feisty.
Because he just controls the show all the time, and he never lets anybody else speak but himself.
It's like he lost the mortgage payment on a parlay there, Grumpy, is what it seems like.
You know what?
He's all frustrated.
If your nickname is Son X, you want to know what TJ's nickname should be? Syndrome.
His nickname should be Tommy the Tyrant.
His name should be Syndrome. Oh, you caught me monologuing again from The Incredibles.
Yeah, well, you're the only one in the audience who got that one there, Grump.
I bet you know. Everyone knows it.
Yeah, sure. That being said, though, right, I want to talk some college football playoffs. 6-2, Grumpy 2-6, X 5-3. Let's talk first. Penn State, Notre Dame. Grumpy's got some humble pie, I think, to eat on this one. Absolutely, he does. How many weeks in a row has Grumpy been saying, Drew Aller is one of the best quarterbacks. If he was going pro this year, he's going to be the first overall pick. Next year, he's the first overall pick in the draft. He's singing the praises of Drew Aller like he can do no wrong. He's fantastic. He's great. He looked absolutely hideous.
He was terrible.
Notre Dame. Awful.
He was terrible against Notre Dame. Yeah.
He's not
That's not why they lost. And here's the thing. That's not why they lost. It's not why they lost.
They
don't
lost to
have
their offensive coordinator.
their offensive coordinator is so dumb that he cost them. They had no weapons on the outside. They got the 44 kid as a tight end, and they got the 2 running backs who are damn good. Their offensive line is really good. They have no wide receivers. None. The number 6 kid dropped 5 passes on Thursday night. 5 passes. I'm sorry. When you get, no production, 0 catches for 0 yards from your wideouts, that's going to be tough to win those games. And still, they had a shot to win, except for the imbecilic play calling by their OC. He stopped them all by himself. They could not throw the ball, but they were running at will, and they
averaged 5 yards a carry. They averaged 5 yards a carry.
Okay. Simple as this. The Allard kid who's supposed to be per Grumpy and per a lot of people. It wasn't just Grumpy out there. A lot of the people who they just follow whatever the clips say, the news headlines say, oh, Drew Allard's fantastic. He's this, he's that. He sucks. He sucks.
Okay, he's going back to college for another year. You watch. He will be the number 1 pick next year. Number 1.
Wow.
Number 1 with a bullet. So he had a bad game. Okay, it happens.
He had a bad game against SMU. He's not a good quarterback. I've watched.
He didn't have a bad game against SMU.
As I
He
told
beat the
you,
shit out of SMU. What are you talking about?
he looked completely inaccurate on multiple different occasions.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm not wrong. If you look
Wrong
at the
again.
stat line, I'm not wrong.
What did they win by 40 points? They were just running the ball at the end.
Yeah, I'll pull up Drew Allard's numbers. Don't you worry,
Pull up his numbers.
Here's the thing.
I got it because I know he'll go quiet if he finds out.
Go ahead,
he's
X. Tell us the numbers, X. What's the numbers, X? You tell
I'm looking
us.
it up right now. Give me a minute. I'll find it. You guys continue monologuing, TJ.
Yeah, that's what you're good at. Syndrome.
He had 171 passing yards.
What and how many? What was stats?
171 passing yards. Not very good. That was
Okay.
against
13 for 22, 127, average
Yes.
5.8 yards
Hey,
per pass,
hey,
56.3
Yeah,
PBR.
I've got it up on screen. Look at this. 3 times they play 3 good teams. Look, and even against Oregon, 226, 2 picks. SMU.
He has no weapons.
Okay, stop. He does.
He
SMU,
doesn't.
13 for 22, 127 yards. Boise State, 13 for 25, 171 yards. I'm sorry, it was 127 first and then 171. Against Notre Dame, 12 for 23, 135 yards. This kid sucks. I've watched him play all year. I watch Penn State play almost every single game. He's abysmal. This kid is nowhere near where you're putting it at. He's going to flop as a pro. Whoever drafts him, you can pencil it in right now. Absolute waste. Unless he makes a huge progression this year from this offseason to next season, this is going to be a waste of a selection, whoever picks this kid.
Okay,
Here's the best weapon on their whole team on their offense for catching the ball was the tight end who had 1,200 yards. The next best player, 720.
That's like complaining that Georgia had, their best player, their best receiver 2 years ago was Brock Bowers.
Okay, but they still had Lad
Bowers is
McConkey, who was making catches, who had over 800 yards that year.
Think about it. Brock Bowers shadowed Lad McConkey.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
Okay,
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not.
He did.
You're wrong.
he did not. You're wrong.
You're wrong,
I'm
TJ.
That's
Wrong
okay.
You are
again.
wrong.
That's
Wrong
okay.
again.
It's okay. You know what I do know? I was right on my prediction, and I'm right on this kid. He sucks. How many more games do we need to see sub-performance after sub-performance of him to say, this kid's not very good? If he didn't play in a miserable Big Ten, it wouldn't even be a problem. We wouldn't even see anything from this kid.
Okay, and then the miserable Big Ten's about to win the national championship. So unless you're taking Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I think Ohio State probably wins. I think Ohio
Okay,
State.
so how are you going to call them miserable when they won the national championship?
I think, one team being there is it. That's it.
They had 2 teams in the Final Four.
4, which is more than anybody else.
They played SMU, Boise State.
They had 2 teams.
Hold on.
Ugh.
And the first time they ran across a team that had anything, which was
They got beat by a last-second field goal. Okay.
They got dominated.
They got
They-
beat by an
They didn't get
offensive field.
dominated. They lost by 3 points in a game that they
Dominated.
dominated Penn State.
Dominated.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Dominated, Grump. Simple as that.
A field goal. They kicked a field goal with 30 seconds to go, and that's being dominated. That's a one game. Okay. Like I said, Drew Aller, you watch. This is his first year playing. This year?
Oh my God.
First year playing this year. He sat behind the Clifford kid for 2 years. Next year, he's going to be the number one pick. And you know, the Giants are going to pick him.
I don't have to worry at all about watching any Giants games until it'll be like Daniel Jones all over again. I don't have to worry about it. I mean, honestly, I know you have not watched any of the games. Look at the numbers here. Ohio State, when they lost, 146 passing yards. That's a game where they
threw the ball 20 times. Yeah, we threw the ball 20 times.
You want to know why they're only okay, Illinois, 135 passing yards. He can load up against the Kent States and the Bowling Greens and the miserable USCs.
Okay.
Anytime he plays a tough team, 120 yards.
Look at how many,
this kid fucking blows.
You want to talk about yards? Look at how many times he's even throwing the ball.
Sucks,
he's not throwing the ball a whole lot. What are his numbers for the year? You want to cherry pick a game? Let's look at the numbers for the year.
I'm not cherry picking a game. I'm looking at every single team that they played that was ranked. Hey, look at this. Look at all the teams they played that were ranked. Illinois, 15 for 21, 135 passing yards. Would you say good game or bad game?
71% completion. I think that's a good game.
135 passing yards.
So what? It's this. They don't have any wide receivers on that team.
I'm done. I can't even with them. You know what? You want to die on that hill, you'll die on it for another year. And you know what? Everybody who remembers this conversation will look back on it and say, yeah, that Drew Aller kid really does suck. And
they got into one shootout game.
Number one overall selection.
They got into one shootout game, the USC game. He threw for almost 400 yards.
That's the only game he threw for actually over 300 yards besides Kent State. He threw for 300 yards twice the entire season.
Okay, so you think a guy who throws 20 passes a game should have over 200 yards passing?
Okay, Grump.
Why don't you bring up that piece of shit, Quinn Ayers, who you think is so fucking great? Let's take a look at his numbers. Let's look at that fucking blow loads numbers.
He's not good.
Pull him up.
Clutch.
Pull him up. Pull that piece of shit's number up. I want to see a side-by-side comparison between Eddie Underhand.
Oh, Grumpy.
Woo. That's how he throws the ball.
Look at Grumpy getting all
like a bocce ball out there. He sucks. You thought he was great. He blows.
Quinny,
Last time I saw him, he was flailing around after he just fumbled the game away in typical Texas fashion. Right?
We'll talk about that game here in a second. Look at these big game moments. This is what I mean. Captain Clutch. You may not. I don't think Quinn.
Remember how many times he's throwing the ball?
Was he Captain Clutch on Friday night?
24 times. Wow, look at that. He's still over 200 yards. Look at
24 passes.
Again,
24
over 200 yards. Look at this. Look at the big games. Georgia.
Are you saying?
Hold on.
Are you trying to say that Texas has worse weapons than Penn State? Please stop.
What I'm saying is this: Quinn Ewers is a better quarterback than Drew Allers, and I don't think Quinn Ewers is that good. I think he's clutch. I don't think he's a good QB. I think he's clutch though.
They played 3 games against good teams, and he lost every freaking one.
You said Arizona State was fantastic? Remember, you picked them.
Arizona State. It wasn't for the officials.
Arizona amnesia. Did you have temporary amnesia, Grump?
I thought Arizona State would beat them. I didn't say they were a great team. I said they were hot.
Arizona State should have beat them.
That's right.
If they called a simple targeting penalty, which it was, they beat them.
I cannot believe
the game out.
The officials get it? The officials got him. Okay. Sure did.
Who did he beat? Oklahoma, 30 passes, didn't even have 200 yards. Texas El Paso, 16 attempts, 185.
You're acting like I'm saying that he's a good quarterback.
Scroll down to the year.
You said he was a good quarterback.
Going into this year, he's good.
He threw 445 passes.
He played less games. He had more passing yards, Grump.
Why did he play less games?
Got injured.
Because he's not even available. It's a pussy.
Okay. I don't think this kid's going to pan out in the NFL. I just think he's clutch.
You thought he was going to be number 1 draft pick.
Was he clutch on Friday? I want to know. Was he clutch on Friday?
Choked the game away. It's typical fashion.
He was clutch.
Choked it away.
You know what? Let's go ahead and start showing some. Let's start. Oh, look at this. You know, the one thing that doesn't get mentioned too, Drew Aller had 2 interceptions that were overturned in a very Kansas City Chiefs-esque fashion. I'll put it like this.
Committing penalties.
Oh, let's take a look, because guess what? We've got a few different calls that we're going to talk about today. Let's take a look. This was whistled as pass interference that stopped them on an interception that Drew Allers tried to force in there. I mean, what a shitty throw this is. Let's watch here, guys. Look at this.
Why he's blocking the man? Why is he doing that?
How is that a penalty? How is that pass interference?
He interferes with the receiver. That's why it is.
It's not. And he didn't. And it was bailing him out because, gotcha. We got to get Drew up. We got to get Drew his touchdowns. We got to get him closer. Hold on. Are you trying to say that the networks and college football didn't want
Notre Dame
to
moving
be
on?
in the championship game. That was the marquee program in the country. You don't think they wanted them in the
Are
championship
you
game?
saying
That
Penn
was what I
State's a
say.
marquee program?
Not as
Not
much as Notre
compared to
Dame.
Notre Dame.
They're both blue bloods. I don't know how else to describe
Notre
it.
Dame is way more marketable than Penn State.
Notre Dame. They are going to be. You watch. It going to be pushing Notre Dame.
I want to ask X on this.
week long.
This is one. This is one where
Oh,
it was
you
not a
know what?
holding call.
Okay,
I
pull up
wanna-
any
You know what?
play.
I show
Yeah.
you.
Pull up
just
any play.
Pull it down.
Pull
Pull
up
it down.
any play that number
TJ's a
11 had a
cherry-
pass rush for Penn State, and it was automatically a hold or hands to
What's
the
that?
face.
What was that, X? Do you
let me
think
tell you
that's a hold or no? I just want.
No,
to
because they didn't call it. They didn't call it when number 11 for Penn State was held all night. So no.
I want you to throw the third down pass where Notre Dame was holding the two Penn State wide receivers who were looking to complete a pass. That's what I want you to show, but you're not going because you're a cherry picking
look at
son of a bitch.
That's what he always does. He help himself.
Looky there, X.
Charlie cherry pick.
Looky there, X can't even
Here's the
stay
thing.
consistent.
At the end of the day,
I thought it was a hold.
Drew Aller, he's already said he's coming back to school. He played 1 year in college football. He's going to be much better next year. He'll probably going to win the Heisman Trophy, and he's going to be the number 1 draft pick.
He's going to win the Heisman.
Yeah, he's going to be everything. He's going to Mr. Everything.
Honestly, I think Carson Beck's going to have a shot. He's going to play in that shitty ass ACC. He'll probably put up 10,000 yards.
Well,
We
we're
know how
going to
shitty
talk
that
about
conference
Carson Beck.
is.
We're going to talk about Carson Beck. Jay has a comment here first. I want this to get read before it gets lost in the
He
show.
skipped all the other comments to read.
We're
this
going to
one.
read the other comments too. I just
By
like
the way,
this.
in case everybody in chat wants to know, TD skipped every other comment to focus in on this one because that's what he does as a tyrant. He does what he wants. He said, "Shut up, know your role. I do what I want."
Go ahead and take a look. Can we read this comment, Grumpy?
What strings did you have to pull to book the Unabomber from Leavenworth as a special guest on the show? Oh, my apologies. That's just Son X.
Oh, you like that one, X? I
I'm
like
about to
that. That put a
explode
smile
on
my
DJ here in a
face.
minute.
Whoa, keep it in your pants there, X. Good gracious. I want to put this up. This was Carson Beck. X wanted to talk about it. We'll talk about the Texas game too because it's worth mentioning. So Carson Beck, right since our last show, I guess no, this is before that. Georgia lost. Carson Beck was injured. Carson Beck entered the transfer portal.
Can you make that bigger? Who's
I
that
will.
girl?
We're gonna.
That's his girlfriend.
That's the best thing about Carson Beck right there.
Can we wait for a second?
She goes
So-
to the University of Miami.
Okay, that's correct. Yes. So he
Just spit it out. You're taking too long.
transferred to the University of Miami. Well, Grumpy's asking a million questions. He doesn't know how to keep it in his pants either. But again, he's transferred to the University of Miami. His girlfriend has been going there. And apparently, there were a lot of issues in the locker room with the relationship that Carson Beck had with this girl. And he signed himself a $4 million NIL deal, the largest right now to the knowledge of I guess, the football community, the largest NIL deal ever signed.
What problems would there be in the locker room?
Again, like she's a TikTok person, and if somebody's picking on him a little bit, I could see him taking that. Who knows? Again, like you're asking me to try to go ahead and select what I think the issue is, but I'm just reading the reports were that the relationship and the locker room, there was an issue across the board with it.
Okay.
So I don't know. This kid sucks. Relationship aside, he sucks. He's awful. He's a terrible quarterback. Now
You know what? He's probably going to throw for 18,000 yards in the ACC because that's how shitty that
That's
conference
right.
is.
I'm sorry.
He's going to look like a absolute stud playing the ACC.
I want to rescind where I said Drew Aller was going to win the Heisman. This guy is because he's going to be playing against high school teams all year.
Let's watch. Look at this shit. I tell you, all kidding aside, this kid is just a problem. I mean, like
Her parents are so proud of her.
Okay. I'll be honest with you. Anytime you're foregoing the chance to win a national
Don't you see
championship,
it?
he said he's transferring to Miami because he thinks he's got a better chance to win a national championship there.
I have a question. Do you see a poll in that girl's future?
Well, here's the thing, TJ. When he's already won 2, I mean, at that point in time, he's probably just trying to collect a paycheck.
He was not the starter for those teams, though.
he was for the second
He
one.
was.
wasn't
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
he? The Stenick kid won the first one. And he won the second one, right?
He'd been. I thought, oh my gosh! It just reminds me. He's been
Stetson Bennett.
so long.
That's who you're talking about,
Bennett.
Stetson
That's
Yeah,
it.
whatever. What did I call him? Stennett?
Stennett.
I think that's what I used to call him back in the day, too. Stennett.
You morphed his first name and his last name.
Yeah, that's all right.
Damn it! I like that one, Grump. Oh, that's a good one. But yes. So oh my God, it's funny. they're talking about the draft comparisons for a guy like Carson Beck, and they put him as near the ceiling of Daniel Jones and the floor of Will Levis.
I mean, is everyone not seriously underwhelmed by quarterbacks in college nowadays?
And
They
just
suck.
in general college, like the Riley Leonard kid. He's for Notre Dame. He sucks. The Drew Allard kid. He sucks. The Quinn Ewers kid. He's clutch, but he sucks.
He sucks. He's not clutch. You know what he did in the big moment? What did he do? Fumble. Woo, woo.
Jack Sawyer returns it back.
He put
95
Jack-
yards,
You know what he
touchdown,
did?
dagger.
He made Jack Sawyer a lot of money. Good job, Ewers.
Jack Sawyer has been playing well all season.
Did he play well against Michigan?
And you know the funny thing,
Did he
thought
play
he
well
did.
against Michigan?
I thought he
He
did.
hasn't seen any
They
of
lost.
Ohio State's games.
I
so
thought he
has
played-
no idea.
I thought he played well. And here's the thing: it was
He
funny.
had more fight at the end of the game when they planted the flag than he did during the game.
He's a guy who's never had an issue with
Oh.
the field.
Oh, he was the flag boy?
Yeah,
No,
he's
he's-
the one, "Put the effing flag on our field again.
They explained it.
Second year in a row. What?"
They explained it. They didn't play
Pussy.
home 2 years in a row. Maybe you don't understand that. But it was funny when they were explaining him, like, oh, X 5-star recruit Jack Sawyer is upset at the end of the game. It's like, man, not throwing a lot of respect on this kid's name. He's pretty good. He'll be one of those guys. I'm not sure he translates to the pros, but he'll be one of those guys that, I mean, he'll have the legacy there at Ohio State for the play he made there, and depending on what he does, I mean, like I assume Ohio State's going to absolutely kill Notre
Do you
Dame.
remember what I said about Texas? Do you remember what I said about them?
What'd you say about him?
Game was close down the end. Texas would lose because they do every single time. Close games, they just implode at the end. And they did again
Well,
Friday night.
let's talk about that. Now, who do you put more of the blame on there? And again, you're a big issue with the
That shitty quarterback who couldn't hit wide open wide receivers. That piece of shit. Your
Really?
pal, Quinn Ewers. He blows.
Really?
He throws the ball underhand. He throws the ball underarm. Woo, woo. What is that?
He threw for 283 yards, and the only pick he threw was in the fourth quarter when they were down by 14 plus points, just trying to get him back in the game.
He blows.
So, again, like he's not the reason they lost. The reason they lost was it was a tie. It was they were down by 7
Yeah,
points
it wasn't tight.
with 3 minutes and 19 seconds left to go. Now, Ohio State had just committed 2 back-to-back pass interference penalties.
Which were-
You mean,
really
the
kicking
dives that Texas wide receivers committed? You mean how
They
they
were
just flopped on the ground?
They absolutely did.
They were not dives.
They saw
They
they
were
couldn't make the
fucking
catch,
dives,
and they leapt at the defensive player, and they got 2 penalties. It
It
didn't
was
matter.
funny. If you listen to it, the guy who is playing defensive back for them, I don't even remember his name, has said he's committed the most pass interference penalties in all of college football. So again, there's a reason for that. Their team clutches and grabs and holds like nobody else's business. It doesn't matter because guess what? They had 2 back-to-back pass interference penalties. You started off with the ball on the 1-yard line, 1st and goal. How on God's green earth do you not punch it in at 1st and 1 at the 1-yard line?
Sounds like that Ohio State run defense is pretty damn
Really
good,
good.
TJ, right?
It
Kind of like I
sounds
said last week.
Here's the issue. You're running it.
Their run defense is really freaking good. That's the issue.
Well, look at Grumpy. Maybe Grumpy could come a little bit more prepared to this show and not have his little ringer on all the time. Tis, Grump. The issue was this. Look at the formation. They're lining up in a shotgun set every freaking down. And for those who've lived under a rock or you didn't have a chance to see this game, I mean, this was the absolute killer. It's on 2nd and goal, still on the 1-yard line. This is the play call. And you're just like, oh my gosh.
Two guys get massive penetration there.
Yep. It's a dumb play call.
Now you see number 78 there, the tackle. He's supposed to be a high 1st-round draft pick.
Oof.
To me, it just seems like college football has just really devolved in the last couple of years, and you're seeing it in the pros as well.
It's so stupid. Like I don't understand why. And this team is not the only team that does dumb things like this. When you're first and 1 at the goal line, at the 1-yard line, line up in a goal line formation and run the ball 4 different times. And if you can't get a yard worth of push on 4 downs, you don't deserve to be playing in the game.
They
You deserve
couldn't.
to lose.
They couldn't. So
Well, no, they started trying to do trick plays. They started
the first
trying
play
to
they ran, they got absolutely stuffed.
They lined up in a shotgun formation. Actually, I don't think you're understanding. When you line up a shotgun,
They
the
ran the ball
quarterback
right
is-
up the middle, TJ.
Hey, listen, you're 5+ yards off the line of scrimmage. The quarterback, and then the running back.
Malik Williams blew through a triple team and fucking hit the shit out of Blue, bud.
maybe you're not paying attention to the game or how the sport's played. When you line the
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we
There's
go.
the
You know what I am doing? I'm
Yeah,
picking the correct
there's the
players to win,
condescending
baby. I'm
Tuesday we know and
picking the
love.
correct
Don't
ones to win.
Don't worry, X.
I
If
told you, don't
win,
worry. Ohio State's run defense is good. Guess what? Their run defense is damn good.
You got
here's
one
the thing.
prediction right. Congratulations, X.
Here's the thing I like best, X. If
He
you
tries to
knew
tell
anything-
people they didn't know what they're doing.
Please stop talking. If you knew anything about the game, you would know that. So here he tries to minimize anything you say because he is superior.
Tyrannical
superior.
actions. Tyrannical actions.
All
right
I know
there.
is you want to know what Coach Day said after the game? You would think that Quinn Ewers is still playing at Ohio State
Oh, is that what he said, Grumpy?
because he
Oh,
just like the choky bitch he is.
He had a handoff. He had a handoff to Sawyer. He handed the ball off to him.
here's the problem. They lined up again. They lined up in a shotgun formation every single one of those downs. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just it's perplexing to me. I don't get that. When you have 1 yard to earn, you line up in a shotgun, you line the quarterback off 5 yards to the line of scrimmage, and the running back's 2 yards behind him. So your running back has to go 7 yards to even get back to the line of scrimmage. It's just dumb. It's stupid. It's a waste of a down. You're saying, hey, please, we don't want to score this. We don't want to score this drive, and that's what cost them the game.
Dude,
They go ahead and they go to
you
third-
ever shut
third
up
and 9.
about the same stuff?
Again, you're trying to dispute it. It's just not correct. X.
Bottom
We're
line,
not-
their quarterback wasn't good. Quarterback didn't get the job done.
He
Bottom line.
got hit, lost the ball. That's what lost him the game. Period.
You wanna
They
see
only had
that?
seven. They only had 7 shots inside the 5-yard line. I mean, and they couldn't get the job done. Sorry, QB, get the job done.
Yeah, and 2 of those or 2 or 3 of those had
7.
penalty infractions.
7 shots. 7
shots on what, Grump?
7 shots trying to get in the end zone from the 5. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. We like X
Can't
and
run
I
the football.
said, like X and I said last week. You kept on poo-pooing Ohio State's defensive line. They're damn good. They're damn good.
I'm going to tell you
I'm
right
also
now,
not-
Notre
go
Dame is
back-
going
go
to
back
do
and listen to the
nothing
show.
offensively against Ohio State.
Go back and listen to
Nothing.
the show. I was not poo-pooing. I said a lot of people are sleeping on Texas. It's a home game for Texas. That matters.
And
I
they
said-
lost.
Yeah, they did.
The only reason that game was even close was the fact. Look at the penalty differential between the two teams. That's the only reason that game was close.
Did you have a
Anytime
chance to-
Ohio State was driving down the field, they immediately got a 10-yard penalty.
The tweet has got
Immediately
it.
did.
Did you have a chance to watch that game?
Yes,
I watched the whole game.
Okay. Again, it was they committed all the infractions they were committing were correct. I mean, like
And
I
you're
don't
going to tell me that Texas didn't hold on a singular play,
Okay.
right? Really? You were
Trey
trying to say
Henderson,
that?
Trey Henderson punching a guy in the face after he gets up, like that's just
Okay, again,
Right?
okay, they shot themselves in the foot on that play. That's correct. They,
And
why
it's-
they were
it's
driving
too.
right down the field to score again.
Hey,
Yeah.
TJ, can you bring up anything from the Notre Dame game when number 11 was rushing around end against
We'll see
Notre
if we
Dame,
get that.
and watch how everyone's got his hand around his neck every single play with no
We'll
flags?
see if I can pull that up for you, Grumpy.
Yeah, that's like every freaking play.
The other thing I want to mention, it was funny because Texas drove down the field at the end of the first half to go ahead and tie the game up 7-7, and I was like, man, this is one to where, yeah, I was just wondering if TJ's going to start reading the comments right after this, Drew. Right after we get done with the college.
Can't
football.
help himself, Drew.
Now I will say
Can't help
this:
himself.
He
this
just
I think
can't
was
help
this was a
himself.
turning point in the game. It was a 7-7 game. Ohio State dominated the first half, in my opinion, and it was going to be tied going into halftime. And Texas gives up a 75-yard screen pass for a touchdown.
Good
It's just like
execution.
it just takes the energy out of it. It's just like, oh, I mean, you drive down a long, methodical drive. Ohio State in the first half had been shooting themselves in the foot. In the second half, Texas defense stepped up and answered the bell. But this is the fumble that you want to talk about here. Again, just the right tackle, I mean, just gets absolutely destroyed. I don't know how else to describe
That's
it.
up pal number 56, X.
Oh, my God.
Whoop. Watch him hustle back after him, though. Do. All right,
He's
I'm just
lazy, lazy motherfucker. Lazy.
He got outran by a slow white guy.
I do like the fact that it just, woof.
That's his game all year long, honestly.
He's
All
awful.
year.
Yeah, again, like,
If he's not committing TJ type penalties, he's letting guys walk around him.
let's start getting into some comments. X, go ahead. Start getting into some comments here for us.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Guru says
Start with this one first. Sorry.
Hansi Flick doesn't lose finals. That's 5-2. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's is that Alex Monroe?
Yep, he's talking about the Real Madrid Barcelona game today.
It was a throttling.
Yep.
Next comment.
What happens? Real's without weapons. That
5.
defense.
Alex Monroe once again says Cam Newton and Golden Tate appear on Fox's special forces show, military-style challenges that put the mind and body to the ultimate test in brutal conditions. How is Cam Newton on that show?
Was one of the challenges recover a fumble? Because I'm sure Cam failed that one.
He would not pass that one. Alex Moreau also says, will Ohio State cover the 9.5 points? They're favored over Notre Dame. Absolutely.
Yep.
That game's going to be blowout.
It's already a blowout.
It's too bad because I kind of like Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're losing.
Well, he's grown on me as a coach. I kind of like him. Alex Moreau says, a team is better than a group of individuals. Okay.
He's referring to Real Madrid and how they spent a whole bunch of money on players and they're
But
not producing.
Barcelona spent a lot of money on referees. Which one works out? I don't
That's
know.
true. Negreri does. He absolutely pays those refs. We
Next,
saw
please.
it today.
Next, please. Alex also says David Moyes back in charge at Everton after Sean Dyche cannot lead the team to score goals. Now, actually, you should have saved that for when TJ.
We'll save that one for when TJ comes back.
Yeah. Thomas Antonetti says, good evening, gentlemen. So early predictions. Who do you see emerging from the AFC and the NFC to play in this year's Super Bowl? I'm glad we're doing this. So TJ will not be able to go on for 45 minutes to make a real simple selection. X, who are the two teams that you think will go and who are you rooting to go?
It's close between the Bills and the Ravens, in my opinion. Or actually, I mean, it depends. Kansas City can get those calls. We know that. They can get it mailed in where they get those calls. So I think it's going to be the Bills or the Ravens, though. Eagles took a lot of losses today with players getting hurt. So I don't think the Eagles have a shot for the NFC. I'm going to say Detroit. Detroit just looks like the best team in the NFC to me. So I got Detroit, and then I don't know, man. The Ravens have been playing really, really well. I still think I don't know. I'm gonna say Bills and Lions. That's who I want to be in, so that's who I'm gonna say it's gonna be in.
I also want to see Bills and Lions. The difference in Baltimore now is they have Derrick Henry.
Yep.
They destroyed the Bills earlier in the year. I know it was in Baltimore, but I'm not going to bet against Kansas City because they know how to win.
And they got the officials on their side.
I think someone's going to have to prove they can beat Kansas City in the playoffs. So I'm going to go Kansas City, Detroit.
I think you're probably going to see the Bills. I do think the Bills are going to be the team that exits out of the AFC. NFC sucks. I mean, in comparison,
NFC sucks.
Yeah, the NFC sucks.
What are you talking about?
NFC, I can't tell you how bad those teams are. They're bad.
You're insane. You were
Really?
literally insane.
And articulate, expand upon it.
Look at the records of those teams this year compared to the AFC teams. Enough said.
AFC is a lot tougher conference than the NFC.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
Okay, the Eagles, for example. The Eagles are bad.
They're not bad.
They're not a bad team.
The Eagles are bad.
They're
Think about
not.
What was the score of that game?
Okay, then multiple guys get
22
injured,
to
TJ.
10.
Was that Grump?
22-10.
22-10. Jordan Love threw 3 interceptions, and all
They're
you can go ahead and win by is 12 points. The Jalen Hurts kid sucks. He's awful. He's not a good quarterback. I can't tell you how often he's got a perfect pocket. He can't find an open guy. He can't run through progressions. That kid sucks. They'll never win a Super Bowl with him as quarterback. Never, ever, 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 ever. You can mark that down. If they're playing the Super Bowl this year, I don't care. They could be playing St. Mary's Sisters of the Blind. I'm picking that over Jalen Hurts. He'll never
All
win.
they got to do is just hand the ball off to Barkley and let him do work. That's it.
Well, Green Bay did a nice job shutting
Shut
Barkley
his ass down.
today.
Yep.
But he would have scored a touchdown. He could have had a big long touchdown run at the end, but he just kind of kneeled out when he was in the wide open. I don't know why he did that, but he did. That ended the game.
I think it's really easy. The better the team gets to say, we're just going to stop your one player that makes the difference. I think you've got such an issue back there at quarterback that it's gonna prevent them from winning anything. I really do honestly believe that. Just like I told you with the Steelers were awful. I didn't care that they were undefeated through the first 7. I said, this team sucks. This team's awful.
That game against the Ravens was close, TJ.
Really? It was close. Really close, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was the score of the game?
It was up until the end.
28-14.
They got killed.
It was close up until the end, TJ. It was.
I want to go ahead.
What you want to say? They were down by a touchdown.
Okay, just to clarify, This conversation started beginning of the year when I said Pittsburgh is going to make the playoffs. TJ went on his typical tyrannical rant, how Pittsburgh sucks. I don't know anything about football. He knows everything. And I said, all I'm saying is Pittsburgh's going to make playoffs. Did Pittsburgh make playoffs?
They suck.
Did Pittsburgh make playoffs?
They did.
Yes.
They squeaked in.
The answer is yes. They wound up losing the last 4 games of the regular season, and they still made playoffs. That's how good they were. They didn't have a quarterback. Mike Tomlin's a really excellent football coach.
Okay. Mike Tomlin, as a head coach, has not won a playoff game since 2015. Time to stop the conversation how great Mike Tomlin is. I'm done with it. He hasn't won a playoff game. You might as well call him the Lamar Jackson of head coaches, because guess what? If this guy didn't inherit Bill Cowher's team, he never would have won a Super Bowl. Next.
You're kidding. Bill Cowher's been retired for 20 years. What are you
He's
talking
been the
about?
head coach. When they won the Super Bowl, he inherited a team from Cowher.
That's not
That's
true.
how that worked. Yes, it is.
Not true. It's not true.
You want to look at the last time they won a Super Bowl?
Yeah. What year was it? 2017? 2015?
2008. 2008. 20 years ago. Well, guess what?
Okay.
He inherited the Bill Cowher team, and that's
Okay.
why he won a Super Bowl. Other than that, he never would have won anything.
Okay.
Never.
When did they play? When did they play the Cardinals?
2008.
When did they play Seattle and beat them?
2005.
Yeah, I don't know.
Before Tomlin. Tomlin, if he didn't inherit that Cowher team, never would have won anything. And this
So
guy
you don't-
should have been he makes it to the postseason every year and gets killed. You might as well call this team the Dallas Cowboys at this point. You have to start
Okay.
showing some postseason success at some point there.
Okay. You want to know what the reason why they didn't win more Super Bowls? Because they had really good teams. They couldn't beat Brady and the Patriots.
That's correct.
They
They
haven't
just
won a
could
playoff
never
game
beat
in
them.
10 years.
They
What do
could
you think
never.
about that?
They made it to the AFC title game against New England. How many times? 4, 5.
They've made it to the playoffs last 10 years in a row and have not won a single playoff game. Is that acceptable? Answer yes or no. That's all I'm looking for.
First
You've
of all,
made the
it's been
postseason
9
last 10
seasons.
years.
It's
This
been
is
not
not
10.
okay. This was
nine.
January. Okay, this was posted January the 10th. They just lost, Grumpy.
It's been 9 seasons since he
After
won.
after yesterday's loss, now it's 10.
So you don't think Mike Tomlin's a good coach?
If I'm the Steelers now, he's returning. I'd say we need to have a different direction. My question is this: 10 consecutive years in
draft
the
anybody
postseason.
worth a shit.
10 consecutive years in the postseason.
Maybe if their
Not won a
GM
single postseason game. Marvin Lewis used to get a lot of hate for that too. And I said, you got to can Marvin Lewis. How many times you squeak in and you make the postseason and you lose every single time you don't have a postseason win? It's not acceptable.
but
And
he
this
never
isn't
won.
acceptable from Tomlin.
He never won a postseason game. This guy has won postseason games, and I don't believe that it's been since. I don't even know if these stats are true. Honestly, well, how long? When was Brady there until 2019? He was there.
I'll pull it up. Don't worry, Grumpy. I'll look at their end of the season every single year.
I can't believe that you're poo-pooing on Mike Tomlin. I really can't.
Okay, think about it. Cowher's last year was 2006. He won the year
So
after.
I guess what you're saying then, if
He
the
won in
Bills,
2008. He won in 2008. That's
I
2
guess
years.
TJ, what you're saying,
the 2008 Super Bowl happens from the 2007 season because it's played in February. So
No.
I'm not
That's
wrong.
not how people do it. It's not how people do it.
really, do I need to
Yeah,
pull up the year by year for you, Grump?
Yes, that's what you
Don't
need
worry.
to do.
TJ, so I guess what you're saying is if the Bills end up playing the Chiefs and they lose, then Sean McDermott should lose his job because he can't beat the Chiefs then, right?
I think Sean
He should absolutely be fired right after the game.
I think Sean McDermott absolutely causes them to lose games. I think he prevents them from winning big games. I think
Then
Sean
he should lose his
McDermott-
job after the game, is what I'm saying. If they end up playing the Chiefs and they
No
lose,
problem.
then they should fire him on the spot. He shouldn't even fly home with the team.
Wow, he's going
He
to
should
fire
lose his job right away.
No problem with him firing Sean McDermott.
The next year, the Giants won the next year, by the way, just to let you know. And then Pittsburgh won the year after that. So it was a 2-year difference.
2-year difference.
Yeah.
And all this team was all inherited under Bill Cowher. This is your Bill Cowher team. That's
And
it.
there's a lot of change in teams over course of 2 years.
Look at the 49ers over 1 year.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say the majority of the players were all still similar, but we can pull it up.
So was the
wanna
majority of the
get
players for the
step-
49ers.
I
Here's
just
the
can't
thing.
believe you're
He never
poo-pooing
won a-
Mike Tomlin.
okay. He hasn't won a playoff game in 10 years. That's not good enough. That's not good enough.
9
Lou.
years. It just said 9 years. It didn't say 10. It said 9.
That was posted on January the 10th. They played their playoff game on January the 11th. They played yesterday, Grump. So that makes it the 10th year. They lost again. They didn't make they lost again. Another playoff game they lost. What a shock.
Okay, but you could say they were absolutely underdogs against Baltimore, right?
Okay. The
He
thing
gets
is,
them in the
you
playoffs
have to
every
win.
single year. Every single year they're in the playoffs.
Oh,
Every
God.
year.
It's
Every
the worst. It's the worst spot you can be in as a fan, because your team is literally the treadmill of mediocrity. Grump, pay attention, please. This is literally the treadmill of mediocrity we complain about that the Islander fans we have to endure, and they're doing the same exact thing for Steeler fans. And you're like, oh no, they should be happy. They're squeaking in the playoffs every single year.
They don't squeak in the playoffs every year. And there's a lot less teams.
Right?
A lot less teams in the NFL make the playoffs than in the NHL.
One.
Half the teams in the NHL make the playoffs.
Okay, you have
recently it was 12
from each conference, so that's 14. It's 16 and 14.
Okay.
So there's
It was-
one team less a conference. What are you
Okay.
smoking?
Until just a couple, 2-3 years ago, it was only 6 per conference. Pittsburgh.
Simple as
Pittsburgh's-
this.
Here's it. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan. Absolutely not. But they're a model franchise. Every single year, they're pretty good. Guess what? They don't have good quarterback play. They just don't. This year, that's what beat them. Their defense is always rock solid.
Yep,
And
really,
they're-
really good. Best in the league. Top 5 in the league every year.
Every single year.
You're laughing. You don't think that Pittsburgh had a top 5 defense this year?
Every year? Come on, please stop.
They're really good defensively.
Ugh.
They just are. I mean, every year they got what? 10, 11, 12 wins. Every year. Every single year.
Because they play the Bengals the first 4 weeks of the season. When the Bengals try to give out wins for the first 4 weeks, Zach Taylor says, we need to start. Well, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy.
You're insane.
Simple as
Can we
this.
please get the rest of these comments? Good God, you are so annoying. Why don't we answer the rest of the question? Who do we have from the AFC and NFC going and play in the Super Bowl?
I like TJ's agenda driven. That's what he is. Here's the thing. He didn't care. That was the question, and he goes right to the Steelers because he hates them. This is TJ in a nutshell. He doesn't like somebody.
So TJ, who do you have making it to the Super Bowl?
Bills in the AFC. I think in the NFC is probably going to be the Lions.
But you think the NFC sucks?
Yes, that's what brought us down this hole.
So you think the Lions suck and the Vikings suck?
The Vikings do suck. Yes, I've watched enough Viking games this year to say the Vikings suck.
He hasn't watched any Vikings games because
oh my gosh,
he
I've
can't
watched
even crack out his
Viking-
rabbit ears.
Oh my gosh, I've watched plenty of Viking games this year.
How many games have you watched this year of the Vikings?
None.
3 or 4.
0.
And that's plenty.
Plenty. It's enough to know exactly what you have in Sam Darnold. It's enough to know exactly what
Sam
you
Darnold
watched.
was
What
great
you
all
watched the
year
game when they
except for
played the
last game.
Detroit Lions?
I watched 3 or 4 of the games. I watched one of those games too against the Detroit Lions. Absolutely.
So they were beating teams by 40 plus points. You thought they were shitty and they were doing a bad job.
I'm gonna tell you this: Vikings are bad.
Okay.
Simple.
Okay. All right.
Move
Well,
on.
we don't need to listen to any more takes from TJ on football. So we can just go ahead and move on.
The only guy with the highest record of the predictions in the college football
Here
players.
we
We'll
go.
do the NFL next too. Don't worry.
From Alex Monroe. David Moyes back in charge at Everton after Sean Dyche cannot lead the team to score goals. He's like anti-offense, this guy. Every team he coaches ever has just blown and sucked and swallowed. Every single team.
I will say
everyone.
Everton. I think Everton did him dirty. Personally, I think they did. Again, it's a driven league with results.
Somebody he likes. That's why he feels like they did him dirty.
Well, it's
Next.
the fact that they were under financial issues and constraints, so they couldn't bring anybody into the summer transfer window, but they had to sell players, and you're complaining that the results aren't there. They're not in relegation. They only had to sell. They couldn't buy. And he came in last year when they just had received an 8-game point drop, and he still led the team on to avoid relegation. So I think he did an admirable job. I've got no problem with him. I take him back at Burnley any day of the week. Go ahead, Grump. Continue.
Well, he can enjoy coaching in English 2 football.
Kingsley Coleman comments on Harry Kane. He's the easiest striker to play with by creating, finishing, and making wingers better. Is this a slap at former Bayern striker Robert Lewandowski?
We talked about, well, if you read the other quote too, he said Lewandowski wanted more crosses and the ball more often. Well, here's the thing. They won games with Lewandowski, and the reason he's asking for that was because they needed to win. They needed to get it on their best player's foot. Harry Kane, the passive guy he is, has never won a trophy and a team trophy in his career. There's a reason for that, because he's just a passenger. And occasionally you need to be a little bit of a hard ass in order to drive some of the other passengers on the team to win. Simple. Next.
He has to let Jude carry
He will. I think Harry Kane will win
a trophy with Bayern.
trophy this year with Bayern. Alex Moreau says, is it a coincidence that Quinny Turnover Ewers declares that he's done with college football, and there just so happens to be Is that California? CA?
California needs more State Farm agents.
Oh, okay, maybe. Is he quitting college football?
He's going
He's
to he's
declaring
going
for the draft.
Oh my God, is he even going to get picked?
He'll get drafted.
He'll get picked.
Shit. Alex says Kyle Walker should go to Bayern. He can still play some.
He's rumored to go to one of the Milan teams.
He's gassed. He's done.
Yeah, he's gassed, and it was because they said you're not going to be starting for us anymore. And he says, "I want to leave." He's been awful all season. Next comment.
All
Drew.
right. Drew says, did Sun X put a brick wall as his background because he always internally feels like he's talking to a brick wall, everybody?
I like TJ so much that I put him behind me.
Oh, go with X.
Next
It's a
comment.
good one. I like it, X. Alex goes, is Alex the only person commenting? The
Yeah,
Super
there's
League,
other people.
the Super League doesn't want Plymouth to beat Brentford. How is the Super League doing, by the way? Spanish Cup finals being played in Saudi is pathetic. Okay, why did they play the Spanish Super Cup in the Saudi Arabia? Why did they play?
More money. Simple.
Money.
For money, they
Not
got to
money.
compete with that
Hold on.
NBC contract that
Very
the Premier
true.
League got.
That's the reason. That's the reason. Alex also says, anybody catch the view of Monday Night Raw on Netflix? Nope. Quite a spectacle. The Rock, Cena, Taker, Hulkamania, X-Pac, Pat McAfee, the stars and celebs are out. Does anyone even watch Monday Night Raw?
I've got a comment about some wrestlers. So Derek thinks that John Cena is the greatest wrestler
Of all time. Of all time.
Let me know
Your
when the
belts,
top,
Grump.
let me know when the top of his head gets hard. He's a child. He doesn't,
Oh,
he
there.
doesn't know anything. He does. Seriously, if he thinks John Cena is the greatest wrestler ever, I can't even have a conversation with somebody like that.
Drew says, to be fair, Steve Sarkeesian blew that game for Texas. That wasn't on yours. Yep, I agree.
Viewer's fault.
It wasn't.
What happened to your boy, Mr. Clutch Ewers, TJ? He
That's
does what
true.
he
What
usually does.
happened?
He's clutch. He's clutch.
He's
Simple.
low.
He's clutch.
Did he not have wide open wide receivers to throw to and not enough PIs called on defenders? He did. He had a billion chances. And as soon as it came to nut cutting time, off they came.
I'll say this. The kid Golden, last name Golden, sat out the first half because he rolled his ankle a little bit. They came back out to the second half. I'll be honest, like when you see guys like that in the college football semifinals and you're not out there, and I mean, in any situation possible, they just kept zooming in on him. I felt like his draft stock dropped every single time they zoomed in on him. Like, hey, he keeps just saying he's not 100%. He can't go. And he's just over there standing with his sidelines. Like, we've seen him run a little bit, but he just keeps saying he's not 100%. I mean, like every single time I heard this, if I'm a pro scout, I'm like, this kid, he's completely in it for himself. He doesn't care about the team. He won't sacrifice for the team. Anytime he gets a little banged up, he's not going to put it on the line. If you're not putting it on the line in the college football semifinals,
We got it.
you're never going to
Don't
do
worry, that'll get him a $400 million guaranteed contract.
At the end of the day, Quinn Ewers couldn't get the job done. Sorry. Alex Moreau says,
Nope.
Okay.
Grumpy, not even busy. Grumpy, still, what game are you too busy watching, Grump?
Next NHL Winter Classic is being held in none other than sunny Miami. Get
Yeah,
out
it's going to
to Twitter.
suck.
Why?
They have one in Miami and one in Tampa.
Why? The ice is going to be for shit.
Yep.
It's going to be miserable.
Yep.
JP says, hey, gentlemen, hoping all is well. The Islanders Never Say Die episode with Coach Tommy Baffy was really good, and I enjoyed it. He seems like he actually has his pulse on what's going on around the league, unlike some past guests.
We're trying to get more guests on. I'm going to do my best to start bringing more people on, more viewpoints. So I'm going to do better on that this year. So thanks, JP. Thank you.
Drew says, looks like we get to witness the full display of the unhappy marriage between TJ, X, and Grumpy.
TJ's miserable.
Goon says, who will the Jets' next coach be? Did Dog Z ever eat a cockroach?
Great segue. Did you happen to hear Rex Ryan in pregame?
Well, I heard what happened before pregame. The Jets said he is not in the running for the coaching position.
Okay.
So-
Rex Ryan talked about the Patriots hiring Mike Vrabel. Hopefully I get to kick this guy's ass twice a year. Rex badly wants the Jets job. Let's listen.
He's the coach of the year in 2021. He's 49 years old, will be 50 when next season begins. Rex, what's your reaction?
Hey, man, I mean, hopefully I get to kick this guy's ass twice a year. I don't know what you're talking about. Just kidding.
them
Ray.
Jets, huh?
I'm just kidding, buddy.
Maybe your team.
Yeah, not my team, yes, but
Understood.
not me personally.
Mike Vrabel is
He obviously wants to come back as the head coach of the Jets, right?
Jets said he is not in the running for that job.
okay, this is the same Jets team that looks at Madden ratings to determine who they're going to pick up. Maybe they'll drop a new Madden update with Rex Ryan having some gold or platinum card X, and they're going to bring him in as a new head coach. This is a video game thing. Maybe X help translate that for Grumpy.
I don't even care.
Tonight's
Gugu says,
the last. Oh, sorry.
Gugu says, Son X, when was the last time you replenished Grumpy's water? Wow. We can't even remember that far. Why were all the NFL games this weekend a slaughter? I think there's a big disparity between the good teams and the bad teams in the NFL now.
Yep.
I really do. It's like it was back in the 60s and the 70s. There were the haves and the have-nots. You've almost seen that again. Gunga says, Grumpy, which one of your sons is a better automobile driver? Which one is a more talented with a screwdriver? X on both accounts.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
X on both accounts. X is really good.
Wow.
Let me tell you something.
Wow.
He's an
Wow.
infinitely better driver. Infinitely better. And TJ uses a screwdriver like he uses a vehicle. Just
Redlining it.
Just redlining it.
X has been in 2 or 3 accidents. How many is it, X?
I've been in one.
One.
I thought you were in the 2 people.
One.
Who's been in the most recent accident, TJ?
Me?
Who? Yeah, no, not
3
me.
years ago.
Yeah, you.
3 years ago.
Who's been in more accidents? Okay.
3 years ago.
What?
No, X has been in 2. Remember, he rear-ended that one person and he destroyed the car. And the next one, he totaled it. No, he's been in 2. Don't
Destroyed the car.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
I tapped somebody from behind once because they acted like they were going out and they immediately slammed on brakes. And then of course me, who has literally an artifact as a vehicle, the brakes wouldn't work.
Oh, hold on now.
He's coming at you.
Hold on.
He's coming at you and your car you gifted him.
The vehicle that I was nice enough to give you.
Technically, what is it? I think it's if a vehicle is over 25 years old, it's technically considered like a relic.
Antique.
You realize
Or antique, that's it. Antique.
Okay. You realize that car was not 25 years old.
It was just about 25 years old.
You realize if you got that car in an accident today, it's not even close to 25 years old. It was.
How many years away do you think it is, Grump? How many years away do you think it is?
I would say with the time of the accident, it was 10 years away.
How many years from now would you say it is?
When you got into the accident, when it was bought.
Now.
What?
It's 3 years away now.
It was
3 years away.
It was a 2004 vehicle. But you
2003, wrong. 2003.
No, you're wrong.
2003.
No,
it was an 03 Camry. It was an 03 Camry. Wrong.
The van was 2003.
Both were bought in the same year. Both were bought in the same year. You are wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong. You're wrong.
Okay. You don't think I know when I bought my
Yes,
vehicle?
I'm 100% don't think that you know when the car was manufactured was in 03.
I bought.
You are wrong. You are wrong. I know what the car was.
Oh, look, X is.
I drove it last.
We just need
X. You did. You killed it. You did murder
That's
it.
right. I slaughtered that thing, but I drove it last.
It was a 2004.
I drove it last. I had to try and whip the horses in the front to go ahead and put the brakes on.
It was a 2004, and X killed it.
Yep.
And
it's 03.
Even
03.
today, it would only be 21 years old. And you killed that vehicle
I
long ago.
was grabbing the reins
At least
trying to pull
10
the
years
horses
ago.
back to get it to slow down.
That vehicle was like 10 or 11 years old when you killed it.
So to answer your question, I'm going to say this. I just feel slighted that the guy who's been in just as many accidents as me with less driving experience as me, and the guy who I've never seen do a hard day of work in his life, who does stolen valor with the clothes that he wears. I've never seen Grumpy. This is Grumpy. I take offense to this. This is awful, Grump.
You're a terrible driver. You are a terrible driver.
That's not true.
You're a horrible driver. Horrible. I worry about your child when you drive.
Oh, next comment. X, get off the phone. Next comment. You trying to look up pictures of the old Camry?
No, I don't need to look them up. I already know it was manufactured in 03. I don't need to prove Grumpy wrong.
2004.
Yeah, Vrabel is back.
Vrabel was back in Foxborough. Yeah, yep. I mean, they had to get rid of the you know what Gerard Mayo's nickname should have been? Gerard Mayo's nickname should have been the Cincinnati Kid, because while other coaches, after they got rolled by Arizona on a week after bye week, he's back there playing cards with the players while the assistant coaches are studying film. That's a bad look for a head coach. I'm sorry.
Trust me, Grump, and X, I know he can't. That's why I said what I said.
Can't stop talking to yourself.
Yeah. All righty.
Bills Ravens. That should be a fantastic game, says JP.
Should be a good one.
Ravens. Okay, Lamar Jackson will do what Lamar Jackson always does. He'll revert back to himself. They'll stop the little run and the scramble, and he'll have to throw the ball, and he'll throw a few picks. He'll be like, "Oh, Lamar, I just don't know what happened." Anytime he's got to play anybody tough in the playoffs, he loses for a reason.
I was surprised that the Ravens went back to Lamar Jackson left, Lamar Jackson right, Lamar
That's
Jackson.
what he wants to do because they can't trust him doing anything else. They cannot trust that guy because he does not show the ability to sit back and throw the ball.
I'm just surprised. Like I said, all I said was I'm surprised considering how well he'd thrown the ball this year that they went back to that in the first playoff game. I was surprised. I didn't understand it. That's why you have Derrick Henry, right? Is to be the running back. Let him be the quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback. Great football player, but not a great quarterback.
Yeah,
Drew says,
he's awful QB.
Drew says, I'm just wondering if TJ actually thinks Jaden Daniels is good. He doesn't.
He's
Because
not.
I think the guy's a stud. I think he's going to be a good quarterback also.
He's not. He's not.
Boo.
Drew says, you watch, teams will adopt his VR training methods in a year or two. Every big Division I school will have some sort of VR pro. What's VR?
Virtual reality.
Okay.
Nice. Jeez, finish up the rest of that.
We'll have some sort of VR program that helps these quarterbacks get mental reps on how to read coverage.
Who does VR stuff? X, did you miss a comment?
No.
Or maybe Jaden Daniels does that. Okay.
Freedom Fun Adventure says, Islanders season starts off crappy. Lou gives a vote of confidence. The Islanders win a few games. Now the moron probably won't trade. My damn Dolphins didn't fire the GM and coach. Somehow will my suffering ever end? No. Freedom Fun Adventure says, does the warden ever come down on X and TJ after they pick on her little gummy? Oh, on X and Grumpy after they pick on her little gummy bear, TJ? No. The only one she ever gets nasty with is me. Honestly,
Rightfully so. They got to keep Grumpy in his place. I'll say this: I am worried about the Islanders winning a few games and him not selling at the deadline. That is absolutely a scenario, and I hate that. I hate to think that's a possibility, but it is.
Freedom Fun Adventure says, Grumpy and X, would TJ ever be allowed to be a football coach on any level? What type of coach would he be? What would his record be like? How many parents would punch him in the face?
I would not be a good football coach.
First of all, this question was not directed at you.
Go ahead.
It was directed to X and myself. X, go ahead. Should I give my version, the realistic one, or I'm going to say X? Let's go to you first. What kind of coach would he be, and what would his record be? Let's start.
Fantasy football coach, 0 wins. Every single person in humanity would want to punch him in the face.
All right, it's not going to be that bad. I think he'd be an okay football coach. I guarantee you he'd get into fights with the officials on the side
and the parents.
And I don't know if he dismissed the parents like they were plebeians.
That's true.
And what would his record be? His record would probably be something. How many games are we talking about? Like let's say high school, like
10 game season.
Let's just say 10 game season.
10 game season.
1-9.
5-5. Probably
1-9.
Not one.
Man.
The only win you'd win is a forfeit because not enough kids for the other team showed
I
up.
could see him be one of those guys who screams at the kids and grabs it. Oh, go get up on him, grab that.
Steve Belichick, give yourself a rest over there, okay, buddy? Jesus.
Is TJ a filibuster? He absolutely is.
Okay.
You catch him monologuing. Oh, you caught me monologuing again. Drew says, glad TJ has a hate boner for the Steelers. He says, glad TJ has a hate boner for the Steelers. Add that to his checklist. Yep. Drew says, it's all Lou's fault for making TJ so miserable. Hashtag make the Islanders great again.
I'd be happy with that.
Drew says, so we can add TJ.
Yeah, to the checklist. It was the correct comment.
Okay. Hey, Frank. How you doing? For guys, fix the transfer portal. Gators got a backup quarterback to commit in December, signed his paperwork, due report this week, and wants out. Why? Tampering. Probably by Georgia, who just lost 7 QBs. You remember, TJ, the first rule I said they should do? If you want to go and transfer, you're only allowed to do it once in your career. Just once.
Sit out a year. Go back to
Also in some other news, apparently a 5-star quarterback commit to Alabama ended up hurting himself pretty badly in one of those, what are they, like the Shrine Bowl? What is it called? It's the one at the end of the season for high school kids.
Under Armour All-America Bowl is what it is.
He hurt himself in that game pretty badly. And then also a kid who committed for the draft from LSU ended up getting in a hit-and-run accident. And
Well,
took
killed
some-
somebody.
He killed
Yep.
people. He killed and severely injured others. Yeah. So
Yep.
Maybe he should go back to school. Oh, well, prison school.
Well,
Maybe
he'll
they'll teach him. Maybe they'll teach him how to make license plates.
But the thing was, it was 2 days after he had the accident, he ended up declaring for the draft.
yeah, good luck. Good luck.
Like I said, maybe he should major in license plate
Or
repair.
they probably told him, "Hey, we're going to release you from the team." And he's like, "All right, gotcha. I'll declare for the draft."
Okay. Freedom Fund says Empire, great to catch up. Grump and TJ versus TJ all night. TJ will
Trump
be
and
calling.
X versus TJ all night.
TJ will be calling the warden to complain.
No, I don't do that.
James Farrell says tough loss by Drew Aller. Should have thrown away and taken the sack. True.
That's right. He sucks. And James is a Penn State fan, I believe.
That's right. He is. So why don't you go dump on him?
Man, if all you guys had a better quarterback, you would have done much better. But you didn't. Sorry.
James Farrell said.
3-0 by the Islanders.
Mhm, that's right.
The unfortunate thing is, of course, we're going to start winning games right around that trade deadline. We want to keep the group together. We got to keep the cul-de-sac together, guys. Let's win a whole bunch of games when it gets close.
Drew says Mike Evans is a literal cheat code in the end zone. No DB can guard him there.
Yeah, he's good. Grumpy hates him. I like him. He'll be a first ballot.
I didn't say I hate him. I said he's soft. He's a
Yeah.
great here's the thing. He's a fantastic person. I mean, one of the great guys in the league. I just think he's soft. That's all.
James Farrell says a
Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn will get the Jets job.
Freedom Fund goes 2 winter classics in Florida. Interesting. Maybe I should go. How is Charlotte's favorite dog?
Doing well. He's doing well.
Your screen sucks, by the way, X. That's what James F said. You forgot to include that one. But remember, I told you it looked like trash.
Yeah, my finger wasn't working when I crossed that one. So
Sure you did.
Freedom Fund goes Grumpy. How come neither of your sons can drive or read?
I
No,
can
X,
drive well.
X had got into a couple accidents, but I'd much rather have him driving than TJ.
We're
TJ's
back on this again. We're back on this again.
TJ's
Grump.
a menace. He's a menace.
Again, let's see X do a hard day of labor in his entire life.
TJ plays this game where every single car is a target, and he tries to hit all of them to get all the points.
If you talk to TJ while he is driving, even if it's 5 minutes, he will interrupt the conversation to cuss out some driver on the road every single time. There's not one time that he doesn't do it. Even
Some
if he's
people-
backing
some
out of the
people listen
driveway,
to music.
he's screaming at someone.
Some people listen to music. Some people like yelling at other cars on the road.
Maybe
I'm
you should
ladder.
Maybe you should listen to music.
I don't like listening to music.
You want to know what he
I will
listens
not
to?
listen to
You
music.
want to know what he listens to when he listens to music in the car? Look up TJ online. Dune throat chants. Look that up. That's the kind of music you listen to in the car.
Oh, fuck.
Just play it, X. Just play it.
Keep going with the comments.
Okay.
Dune throat chants. Dune like Doom or Dune?
Dune
Dune. Dune throat chants.
or throat singing.
Throat singing. Dune throat singing.
What the hell are you talking-
Pull it up there and play it, TJ.
I'll get it up here.
Well, you could pop up the next comment before this comes
X,
up.
get to work.
Frank says, I drive a 2004 X with 400K. It's still great. Yeah. It's, here's these kids.
I'm not saying the car wasn't great. I'm saying the car's brakes were faulty.
He's an
no, not
ungrateful
that guy.
ungrateful
Not that
bastard. He's
that
an
looks like
ungrateful
TJ.
bastard.
That looks like TJ when he puts on his glasses. Well, he used to have hair. Actually,
You're
was more
black,
like-
dude. Listen to him. Listen to him throw chant.
I'm gonna have to lower it because it's quite loud and obnoxious.
That's the shit that you listen to in the car.
I don't, but
It's-
I'm
it's
glad we
Remember
can.
you said that, Grump? He listens to
It's-
those sounds.
It's music to woo a serial killer. That's what it is. That's what it sounds like. Serial killer music.
There it is.
Drew says, I bet TJ will be like my mother whenever my sister was learning how to drive. She would scream so much, we would call her to the crow because she'd scream like a crow. Oh, we call her the crow because she'd scream like a crow. Yeah. Let me tell you something. TJ, poor baby Liza, I'm going to have to step in. I can tell already.
Yeah.
Little baby Liza was, she's mobile now, fully mobile. And she crawls on the floor and she's like, there was a carbon monoxide detector or something, and she pushed the button and it scares her and she cries, but she keeps on going to touch it. And teacher's like, no. And she's like, woo! And she just, woo! She sat back against the wall, like, woo! I'm like, stop yelling at her. She's a baby.
This is a very accurate story by Grumpy. There's not any hyperbole at all.
Maybe you should sing some of your music to her with those throat chants. Like that.
You know what? You know what it is? You know what it is? Grumpy's he's got to try to lighten the mood a little bit to take his mind.
Liza, do not touch that.
That's what it really is. Keep going.
I will say she's
wave
fascinated.
and a
She's fascinated by, was it smoke detector or carbon monoxide detector?
Let's move along. Freedom, fun, and adventure, Grumpy.
To answer TJ's question from last week, the Muppet that I believe Son X looked like is Gonzo. Remember when TJ got lost on his way to BJ's? It's true. It was scary. And TJ, you were 20 years old.
Gonzo, he's got that big freaking beaker of a nose. I like that.
No, that's Beaker.
Gonzo.
Beaker's the one with the beaker of a
Beaker
nose.
has Beaker has no neck. Gonzo has that big old hook nose, just like X does. Turn to the side, X.
Hook nose.
This is-
Yeah, you are animal. You are animal, right, buddy?
Give us a side profile, X.
I thought TJ was Miss Piggy.
Well, he is Miss Piggy and animal.
Let's keep going on, huh?
Gonzo
Drew
does
said-
not have the big nose, by the way, TJ.
I think he
Drew also-
absolutely does.
No, he doesn't. Gonzo was the bear.
No, Gonzo's a big guy
That's
with a big
Fozzie.
beaker of a
Fozzie's the
nose.
bear.
X
Oh.
doesn't know his damn Muppets. Come on.
You're
Oh,
an
here he is.
animal.
Don't worry, X. Here it is. I'll put him up for you. This is you with your big old. Can you turn to the side? I need to do a side by side, a profile picture of you and Gonzo, X. Here you go. Can you turn to the side like that picture in the
Oh,
top?
that is not
right?
true now. That's not true. X, don't you hate when TJ is in charge of all the things he can pull up?
Why doesn't he look up a picture of animal? That's him.
Yeah, let's put that up. Put up Animal from the Muppets.
Okay.
TJ
animal.
is a shaved version of animal because he has no hair on his head.
Let's see here. Well,
That's
that's kind
right
of
there. Just click on it.
this is
No,
me.
that's not him.
That's
TJ's,
TJ.
TJ's the big stupid one.
Okay. Let's continue moving along,
The
Gonzo.
crazy, tyrannical bastard.
Hey, Gonz, get to it, buddy.
Drew says, also, I've got a small update on Grumpy's favorite, Wee Hoopin'.
That's right. I do want to show this. I do
He
have an
must be
update
in
for
his
you.
glory, right?
That's right.
While you pull that up, I'll just say Alex says the Chicago Bears want to interview Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman. Don't do it, Freeman. I 100% agree. Your reputation could not be any better than it is right now. Don't go to Chicago.
By the way, really quickly, I'd like to hear that Grumpy. He said Marcus Freeman's grown on me. He hated Marcus Freeman.
I did.
Absolutely.
I absolutely did. And I said he's grown on me. Yep. I'm willing to admit it when I
Yeah, he's grown on me too. I root for him. I do. He seems like a nice guy, a cool.
That's right. That's
down-to-earth
exactly.
guy.
That's why I root for him, because he seems like a really nice guy.
So here it is. This is the comment. Me and the Steelers are taking that Big D Henry. What does that mean? Oh, Grumpy.
Oh my God.
goodness. Where's that thing been? I know where it's going, but where was it before now?
Probably in Spencer's is where I'm saying that's been.
No, I'm going to say it's probably up his ass.
Inside of him.
Look at that. Oh, he's got his little jersey on. Look, it's Wee Hoopin. I kind of am rooting for the Ravens just so I could see Wee Hoopin, but I wanted to get to the Super Bowl and lose. Could you imagine the apoplectic attack that he would have as if they lost in the Super Bowl?
He'd have to live stream from outside of his house because it's currently burning down.
Don't start another. Yeah, go ahead. Nice comment there, Grump.
Drew says, isn't that what the coach's job is? Are we supposed to think the parents are no knowledge plebeians? Is that what the coach's job? Are we supposed
Yeah,
to?
well, yeah, that's. I mean, like, yeah, the parents. I could just tell you this much: every kid wants the kid to play, and understandably so. Every parent wants a kid to play. It's tough to convey the message sometimes to the kids. So I did not like it. Freedom, fun, and adventure, Grumpy.
I honestly think that TJ seems a lot happier since sweet baby Liza was born. It's hard to tell.
I think so too.
Alex,
Thank you, Freedom, fun, and adventure. I think so too. I think I'm very cheery these days.
oh, God.
No, you're not. You're still a piece of trash.
Alex Monroe says Henry Ruggs apparently up for parole next year. I thought you could say parolee of the year. Should an NFL team pick him up? How could he possibly be eligible for parole?
The
Do
Raiders.
you think if an
won-
NFL team picks him up that he'll have to get Ubers or Uber XLs everywhere and they won't let him drive?
Let
Maybe
him
they'll put that as a stipulation in his contract.
a breathalyzer
boy.
to get into the car.
Here's Alexander, Renee Diaz, Alexander, old buddy. Justin Herbert is another Jeff George.
He
Alex,
played so poorly. In
he
that
had a bad game yesterday, without a doubt. He did. But his wide receivers suck too.
He's
They got-
Lad McConkey, and that's it to throw the ball
That's
to.
it. That's it. I mean,
How about the guy from TCU go ahead and drop
terrible.
5 more passes again?
he's terrible.
Quentin Johnson.
He
know,
sucks.
X got into a disagreement with his uncle. He was comparing Teddy Bridgewater to Tua Tagovailoa, and I just said, "What's the difference?" Honestly, one's just older than the other one. They're same guy.
Let's look at here. Some of these, I mean, like again, he only had 3 interceptions on the entire season. He had 4 this night. Oh, I mean, that's one where he just underthrew him, right? And again,
Yeah.
this is towards the tail end of the game. That's when
Another one was off of his tight end's hands.
it was actually off of Lad McConkey's hand. There's another one off the tight end's hands.
Yeah, that's one that's not on him.
That's not on him.
It's a pick 6, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, they
Yeah,
got
no,
stopped
close
right
to it.
there at the end. Here's another one. This is off of Lad McConkey's hands. Now, again, not a great pass.
Okay, still got to catch that ball. I still got to catch the ball. Hits in both hands. You got to catch the ball.
So, yeah, I think the 4 interceptions, if you just look at the number like that, oh, man, they threw 4 picks. I think that, again, when they're bouncing off a guy's hands, I'm not
2
going
of them were probably his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was bad. He was absolutely bad.
Yep. I agree. Just look at this. Look at this. Look at this nice pocket that Jalen Hurts has to work with.
Oh God. When
That's
TJ
good.
hates somebody, he goes out of his way to find things to prove himself right. He's pathetic. He's pathetic.
Can we really quickly talking about the Eagles and the Green Bay? Did you see them overturn this call on the field?
I did not. I didn't even watch that game. I had no interest in it, to be honest.
The Green Bay recovered the ball. They fumbled it, but then they recovered the fumble. And then they went to review and they said, actually, the Eagles recovered this fumble. I'll let you watch it. I don't know how they overturned
I thought they
this.
said the ruling on the field stands.
Did they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said the ruling on
He
the field
had the
stands.
ball.
A lot of stuff happens on the bottom of those piles.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard NFL players say the whole time. A lot of stuff happens at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, I just and they came and they took it out there. But I'm like, yikes. Anyway, I'll let you continue there, X, with more comments.
What's up, guys? Hello, Alexander.
What up?
So nice to hear from you again. Drew says, I'm just wondering when the Chargers will cut the first round CFL wide receiver Quentin Johnson. He's horrid.
Yeah.
That kid can't catch a freaking cold.
I'm not sure if you guys
He
have
ran a route. They went for it on 4th and 2, and he runs a 1-yard route. Well, he's wide open. I said, well, he caught it. I said, I was getting on him for catching it and only running a 1-yard route. He wound up dropping the ball as well. So it
Yes.
didn't matter.
I did want to go ahead and show this. Now, this was after the Texans went ahead and beat the they went ahead and beat, was it the Chargers?
Chargers,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I want you to watch this. This is Joe Mixon. I'll let you watch it.
What is that? Hey,
Where'd you
what
go,
we doing though? What we doing, man? Smoking that restaurant, man. Hey, what we doing, man? Yeah, we smoking on that Ray Ryan pack, man.
We smoking on that Rex Ryan pack. They're over here smoking cigars after they won a divisional round of the playoffs. I've never seen a more cooked team than this. They're going to get killed. I don't care who they're playing next round. They're getting
They're
killed.
playing Kansas City.
They're getting killed.
I don't think they'll get killed, but
They're
they ain't
getting killed.
winning.
They're
No,
getting
they're not
killed.
winning.
They're going to get killed. You have guys in the locker room celebrating a win, a divisional round win in the playoffs, like a wild card weekend win. Are you kidding me?
It's their first playoff win in a long time. I think that's the way they've done it. Remember,
You
they
know
lost
what?
to Cleveland.
Pretend like you've been there.
Remember, but they haven't been there yet. That's the
Joe
thing.
Mixon has. This is Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has. He went to the Super Bowl with the Bengals.
But he was beating up his girlfriend in Quiznos.
That was when he was with Oklahoma. Come on now.
What's the difference?
Get your facts straight.
I'm sorry, but smoking a cigar after a win like that, it's not like you won the Super Bowl. I mean, like, come on, guys. The goal isn't to win one playoff game and then get killed by Kansas City.
True. Yeah, but that's on the head coach, right? And I like DeMarco Ryans. I think he's a good head coach. He should knock that shit off. Clowns.
Yeah.
We already read this one. Next.
Okay, sorry. Didn't know if you read that one or not.
Alex Monroe says Rodgers to the Steelers or back to Costa Rica on a more permanent.
Ayahuasca retreat.
There you go. Thank
I
you,
think
man.
he's going to Costa Rica.
X. Oh my God, looking like he's back in the 18th century.
Yeah, apparently Alex informed me as well that my internet is trash. So
Oof.
apparently I'm lagging. So
X, I think I found out what it's your internet. Haha. I don't know what this is.
Things are so bad for the Steelers and their fans, Grumpy, because they haven't won a playoff game in 10
Back to the Steelers. Back to running down the
They're
Steelers again.
fighting each other, Grumpy, in the streets at the end of games. Look at this.
no.
Holy shit. Look at these other idiots. Instead of breaking up, they're just filming it.
Jerome Bettis got his ass taken to school, baby.
He got hit by the bus.
Look at this. I'm not taking you to school. Look at Jerome Bettis.
That guy was throwing. That guy was throwing a punch from below his waist, kind of like Quinn Ewers throws the football.
No!
So we have that one. One more item of, I guess, fan fights that I think we'll enjoy. We'll all kind of chuckle at this one.
Oh, I've seen this one.
This just happened recently here on January the 8th. The Maple Leafs beat the Philadelphia Flyers. I'll let you
Gave him
watch.
the Philly special.
Oh, in Philadelphia, you're selling. Oh boy, that's not.
Gave him
gonna
the
end
Philly
well.
special, baby.
These Canadians don't understand what Philly's like, I guess. Welcome to the United States. Welcome to Philly.
Oh, what the hell?
Boom! Boom! Oh my God!
Fly, you gonna fly, baby. Look at this. All kidding aside, these guys wanted none of that. They didn't want.
Yeah,
any
no,
sort
they
of
did not want to
confrontation.
fight.
You're not looking to fight.
But my God, this guy, typical Eagle fan, right?
You know, it reminds
Typical
me that,
Philly fan.
it reminds me of a Magnificent Morocco interview with the Grand Wizard back in wrestling, where he said he had to do a match in Philadelphia. He's like, I can't believe I have to go to this scum part of the territory. So, you know, that gets you over in Philly really well. Call the fans scum.
I like how he climbs down multiple flights of stairs, and he's not drunk because he's climbing downstairs without falling. And look at this.
Why
He's
is
like,
he
which one do you
throwing
guys want it
punches
first?
people?
Oh, fuck. Your guess is as
Why
good
is
as
he
mine.
throwing punches? I just don't get why he's throwing punches.
He's a Philly fan, Grump. They
They're
don't
losers.
use their
And
brain.
Philadelphia just is what it is.
Yep, it's Philly. Ugh. You can go back to comments there, X.
Grumpy, what's your favorite Rocky movie? It's got to be Rocky 1, right?
Rocky one's good.
Rocky 1. Matter of fact, I enjoy most of the Rocky series. It's Americana, so I kind of like it. But the best one was the first one. I did like the third one because the Hulkster was in it. And actually, a lot of people don't like the fifth one with Tommy Gunn, but I enjoyed that one too. I thought that was good too. I like all the Rocky movies. I'm not a big fan of the Creed movies, but I am a fan of the Rocky movies.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Drew
sorry.
says, oops, Grumpy and X and Grump, what are your favorite sports movies? Interesting. I want to do a show where we do like a almost like a sports movies like NCAA bracket, determine the greatest sports movie of all time. I want to do that.
Okay, we can do that. We just need
No,
to.
I don't wanna
want
say-
movie of all time. Oh, you
I
don't want me
don't-
to say?
No, I don't want to say because I do want to do an episode like that.
Okay.
But I will say, I will tell you some of my favorites: Raging Bull, Rocky, The Natural,
Miracle,
Bull Durham, Slapshot,
Miracle.
Miracle, Breaking Away. There's a whole bunch. Waterboy, whole
That's a good
bunch
one,
of
too.
movies.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Well, this is one
Invincible.
that Grumpy wanted to ask me about here. We'll have a chance to talk about the non-penalty on this one here. I guess we'll get your opinions on it.
No, it was a penalty.
I'm sorry, the penalty on this one here.
I think it's bang bang.
He's a defenseless receiver.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
but what
why
if
he's a
call-
defenseless
call-
receiver.
I don't
If you lay down like you're concussed and dead, they always throw the flag on that. But if he stood up and he walked that off, he would
I
have
thought
been
he kind of pulled off a little bit. I mean,
I don't think he was pretending that he was concussed, TJ. I absolutely think he went
he
night-night.
wound up.
No.
He's diagnosed with a concussion. He has.
Whoa, shocker. He went night-night.
What?
No pretending. Boom, look at him go limp as soon as he gets hit.
He was concussed. I'm saying if you get concussed or pretend to be concussed
He didn't
after
even hit him in the
that,
head.
you're always going to get a
Didn't
call.
even hit him in the head.
He did hit him.
No, he did.
I thought it's more like a whiplash effect. He's shoulder to shoulder, and
He
his
was
head
knocked out. Okay, he's knocked out as soon as the contact is. So watch his body go limp. Boom! His body.
That's helmet to helmet.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
knocked out immediately. I'm not. I'm just. I
He
didn't know. If,
He said not helmet to helmet to start.
I
And
just.
he said
I didn't think it was
whiplash
helmet to
here.
helmet. It's a love tap. He's turned his body away from him. He certainly was not trying to hurt him. He absolutely was not.
Ugh. Well,
Grumpy,
gotta-
this
you gotta
isn't,
assume
this
the
isn't
guy-
Barca we're talking about. This is the NFL.
I mean, back in the olden days, that is absolutely not a penalty. Not at all.
Those helmets are connecting, bud.
the helmets are kissing each other, Grumpy.
Yeah, I don't know. Shoulder hit first. I don't know. I don't think so. The more I think about it, I think the guy was faking. I think he's playing Patrick Mahomes.
Nice comment there, X.
Drew says, Grumpy, why am I not surprised that TJ would 100% be a road rage maniac? He is. That's a good road rage maniac. That's it. My dad is the same way. He's always yelling at the other drivers. Drives me nuts. I don't understand it. And he's not just yelling. He's spewing offensive profanities where, honestly, it's a little embarrassing. Freedom Fund says, I'm not surprised TJ does throat exercises. Bet Phil's does too. Probably required for anyone who works at Manhandle. Oh, wow.
Not sure if you guys happen to see this. The ref went and apologized to Josh Allen after missing a hold.
Ever even better than Vinovich talking.
Trying to explain why there was no call on the back of the end zone.
Now,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no
my
call.
question is,
That's no
with
call.
that holding,
Okay, here's the thing. No call. If that's Kansas City, that's absolutely a call.
Number two is kicked out of the league. That's
Patrick
Kansas City.
Surtain he's a really good cornerback. He just got, fooled.
you got to
beat.
turn around.
Yeah.
Beat.
I don't see how you look at it. You're looking right at it. How do you miss it? If that's Kansas City, there were a lot of plays this weekend. I said, gosh, if that's Kansas City, that's a penalty, right?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
I want to bring this up. He talked in the post-game press.
George Pickens?
Yes. Did you happen to see this interview?
No.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
And it's gonna be tough to hear, but I'll read it and we'll listen to it again. He says, "Does that make you optimistic going forward?" George Pickens says, "Nah." Let's listen.
George, you've been with this offense now for 3 years. Have you seen signs of growth, and how much more does this team still need to grow offensively?
Yeah, I've seen signs of growth for sure. From past, the first year I've been here, just way more growth for sure.
George, does that make you optimistic going forward?
Nah.
He's got to go, right? He's got to go.
Have you seen growth from the offense since your first year? Yeah, definitely seen growth from offense the first year here.
Was
Does
Kenny
that give
Pickens
you offense? Does that give you optimism? Nah.
It just shows no matter how bad it is, Kenny Pickens was worse. That's what it says to me.
Keep
A
going.
little tiny. James Farrell says Ben Johnson to the Raiders. I think that's a possibility. That'd be a nice hire by TB12. James Farrell also says, guys, what are your thoughts on the Yankees' new free agents they picked up? X, do you want to talk about that or you want me to do it?
You can do it.
Excellent to know.
Yeah.
So much
To be
meaning.
honest with you, I've not paid attention to baseball.
Losing Juan Soto is a loss, without a doubt. But they did kind of recoup. They made a trade for Bellinger, who fills the center field spot. And there'll be better fielding for certain. Moves Judge back to right field. Then they signed Paul Goldschmidt, and they signed Max Fried, who, he's a good pitcher. Will he be injured? That's a big concern with him. And they got Devin Williams. So I think they still need a second baseman or a third baseman, depending on where they want to put Jazz Chisholm. And I think that Goldschmidt still has a little bit in the tank. He should be at least a little bit of an improvement over Rizzo the last couple of years. I still think the Yankees are probably the team to beat in the American League, only because Baltimore has done nothing to improve themselves. So, but we'll see. It's still a ways to go before pitchers and catchers show up.
I'm going to show a clip from a game here, and I haven't listed with volume, but I want you to watch the clip. And this is a guy who used to play in the MLB.
Is that Yasiel Puig?
Well, we'll play it through because I don't want to ruin anything.
I just see the number.
Could be, but I want you to watch it. I want you to watch his stance, what he does, and then I want you to guess, and I will have you wait until the end as to who you think it is, and we'll listen. We'll watch it here.
Yes, it's absolutely him.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. He should have been called out just for falling over first base.
So who do you think this is, X and Grumpy?
It's Puig.
Is it Puig?
Yeah, of course. He's done this. He did this in the MLB too before, where he hits these. He hits a ball that he thinks is a home run, and he barely moves at all. Like he's staring it down. Like, man, I killed that thing, and it bounces off the wall, and he doesn't score, and he gets thrown out at second all the time.
It's funny. It kind of I feel bad for him because it's embarrassing. It reminds me of when the Mets played their first year. Marv Throneberry was the big star of the team, and he hit a. There was a ball. He was at first base, and he tried to score from first, and he hit a ball and he was thrown out at third base, or he wasn't. He was safe on third, and they challenged, and they said he didn't touch first base, and Casey Stengel came out and challenged. He said the referee says, Casey, don't even bother challenging that because he missed second base too. So I mean, it's just some guys are just kind of like that. I really butchered that. I'm sorry.
I know.
It's fun. It's
All
it.
right,
I did. You know what? I'm able to admit when I make a mistake, unlike DJ.
He made a mistake.
Oh,
TJ's about to
come
make
on.
another one by putting up Tomlin stuff. Move on.
Again?
Move on.
Yeah,
Move
sure.
on.
Already
Something else.
assassinated his character.
No, I'm going to
Grumpy,
take
we know
over.
Jeff Schwartz.
Move on.
We know
Move
Jeff
on.
Schwartz, Grumpy.
Move on. Something
Now.
else. Read the next comment, Grump.
Freedom Funovich says Baffy mentioned building a racetrack at Belmont. Cars. Son X, you were playing video games with the Monroe boys, but Baffy also offered to life coach you, X, accept the help. No, he said he's not a life coach. That he specifically said that. And he said he needs a life coach, which is his wife, Andrea.
Oh gosh.
Frank says, yes, Grumpy old man, the old adage, if it hits you in the hands, you got to catch it. Both hands, not just one, both. Sorry. Drew says, if Jaden Daniels was quarterback of the Eagles, they'd win the Super Bowl. I think Jaden Daniels is a good quarterback.
Ugh.
Alexander says, Jaden Hurts is the reason why the Eagles will never win the Super Bowl.
Jalen Hurts. Yep, I said the same thing earlier this show.
Yes,
I
you
like
did.
it. I like it. Now, this is a video Alexander sent me. Let's watch. I have not watched the video. Hopefully,
How about the Dolphins?
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, it's we hooping.
Lamar. That's what I'm talking about. That's only one, though. That's only one. Change the narrative. This is our year. Come on. We own the Steelers. Yes, we do. Next is Josh Allen and then Mahomes, and then we're in the bowl.
Boing,
This is the year. This is our year, man. Lamar, keep it up. God.
Thank God that was only 26 seconds long.
We hooping's mom is like, hooping? Well, we. Knock it off up there. What the hell are you doing? We.
All righty. Next comment there, X.
Drew says Hurts couldn't beat the Chiefs when the teams haven't. Church couldn't even beat the Chiefs when teams haven't figured him out yet. True.
Yep. No, he sucks. He's what he is. Same thing with Jade Daniels. He'll be the same thing.
Oh,
Frank.
Frank from Empire State says Saquon is insane behind that line. Their line, I think their lines.
Great. Their offensive line is fantastic.
And their D line is really good too. Their line play is outstanding.
As long as they're not driving, Tokyo Fast and Furious drift in residential neighborhoods killing people. They're driving really. I mean, their D line's
That
great.
was while they were at Georgia.
You think they stopped?
I don't know.
They haven't been caught yet.
No, Georgia actually they built some specific drag strips for the kids now.
James Farrell says, TJ, all depends on what cigar you're smoking. Me, I like CAO cigars. I have no problem. I don't even know what that means.
I'm just saying they should be. You should not be celebrating a win.
Oh, that's right.
But with a celebratory cigar when you won the one postseason game. Go ahead there, X. Continue.
Frank from Empire says, rumors the Steelers get rid of the coach. Why?
They said they weren't. So
Drew says, I remember Tommy was about to interrupt me saying that Phil has like a core of Lamanites. What's that like? 4 people? Oh,
yeah, he does have a few losers that follow him.
oh damn. Why are you calling his followers losers?
Because they try to now engage with me and I just sit them all down across.
He's a false messiah. That's the problem with Phil.
Yeah, well, that I think that rings true probably across the board for him. 5-2, Grumpy.
Alex Monroe says majority of Greenlanders want to become part of the USA. Yeah, Trump says some things. I don't know. I swear he just says things
Just
to drive the media crazy, and they just take the bait. They're like Vinny Jr. They just take the bait every single time.
Next, he probably got arrested. That Philly asshole. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
That's assault, brother.
Wasn't that a Pittsburgh guy?
No, the Philly guy.
Grumpy, is your brain working okay?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. There's been so many fights we saw today. I was don't
You're
know.
watching TVs. You're watching TV too much. You can't focus on TV.
Shut up, TJ. Drew said TJ's community is way stronger anyways. We just don't care to comment on idiocy.
That's right, baby. Woo! Alrighty, Freedom Fund Adventure says it's scumbag Domi, Max Domi, who intentionally elbowed George on the chin, was fined a few days later, and the exact same thing. For the exact
2 days later, for the exact same thing, a few days later, Islanders got no justice from the NHL and too chicken to get it on the ice. You know, it's funny. I saw a video where Ty Domi, his dad, did that to Scott Niedermayer in the playoffs back in, I don't even know what year. And he was knocked unconscious. And, you know, like father, like son. Think about it.
Back when you're allowed to hit, though.
Frank
No, he elbowed him in the back of the head. And he never played again.
Frank from Empire State goes,
X, what are you doing, X? We can barely. What is this? Hold on, by the way.
Closer to the screen, X.
You slouchy ass motherfucker. What are you doing?
I was resting.
Frank from Empire State said, Grumpy old man, did you see the Borat movie? Yes, I did. TJ showed Grump some clips, if not. Yes, I've seen that.
Borat's great. That's a classic.
I'm Borat, king of the castle, king of the castle.
Nice guy.
Freedom Fund. I love that speech that Rocky gives his kid outside of the restaurant when his kid is an adult. Your boy should hear it, Grumpy. Absolutely. It's a great speech.
I like Rocky.
Sylvester Stallone. Good for him. I also like Tulsa King. Like that show. Freedom Fund Adventure. TJ, how does Son X dress for stolen valor? I didn't know.
Great question.
Should we just sign him up for the United States Marine Corps already?
Yes, we should. I think, to answer that question, X likes to wear certain clothing that certain people wear. And this is, I consider it like stolen valor for civilians because
he's wearing a jacket.
Hold on. X wears like hunting jackets and he wears like Carhartts and things like that. And he's never done a day of manual labor before in his life. It's stolen valor.
What does it have to do with stolen valor? He's wearing a jacket you can buy in the store.
When I told X that, he got all pissy about it too. Now,
X, go get
where was the jacket that you had? What was the jacket that you had? Your stolen valor, son of a bitch.
Hold on, give me 1 second and I'll grab it.
There it is.
I think you're ridiculous. I'm like, what are you even talking about? It's just like a jacket. It's not even an olive green jacket or anything like that. It's just like a jacket.
It's like a hunting jacket or
It's
whatever.
not even a hunting jacket. It's something to keep you warm.
I don't remember what it is. It's not something that he partakes in that sort of activity that those people wear. It's like saying, I'm wearing, no.
TJ, can you put up a picture of a snorkel jacket?
I just thought about it. It's going to be easier if you just pull up a picture of what the jacket is. It's a barber jacket. Just type that in.
Barber jacket. So maybe he's cutting hair. That's stolen valor.
It's not a cutting hair jacket.
Pull up a barber jacket. I want to see the jacket that X.
Oh my gosh. Look at this. Yes. Look at this. Hold on a second. Yeah. Which I need you to pick out which one it is. And X has never worked a hard day in his life. He's never done a day of manual labor in his life. Look at this. Which one you have, X? Which one's yours?
We got to wait till it comes up, TJ.
The one on the ffar left.
Look
No,
at this.
that's the one that I have.
Look at this. Pretending that he's a worker and a blue collar guy. Ugh.
That's just like a coat.
$415 for this coat. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
It wasn't actually $415. It was a lot cheaper than that.
Wow.
You sure?
Can you
Positive?
Can you pull up snorkel jacket? Snorkel jacket.
Look at that. Hold on. Just look at this. Look at this X over here.
Why is that a stolen valor jacket? I don't get it. Makes no sense.
I think it's quite simple, actually. Again, like those, it's like people who are. I'll use synonymous because I think it's Grumpy. You know the brand Carhartt. I think I've never heard of Barber before I saw X wearing.
If I'm familiar, TJ has a Carhartt jacket.
No, he doesn't.
Carhartt.
No, he doesn't. It's hanging up in my closet still.
I don't wear the Carhartt jacket because I don't.
You know why he doesn't wear it? Because it's in my house.
I don't do hard manual labor, and I can't. It's stolen valor. I can't wear it. Simple as that.
It's a freaking coat.
Simple as that.
Why do you wear anything with pit on it?
No, it's athletic gear. I'm an athlete.
You're not. No, you're not.
You're an athlete.
No, you're not. You never played for Pitt. Why do you wear anything with Pitt football
I'm
on?
an athlete.
Why do you wear anything with Pitt football on? You never played for Pitt.
No, it'd be like X wearing a cutoff T-shirt, a muscle shirt when he's got no muscle and doesn't go to the gym. It's stolen valor. You can't wear it. Just like you can't wear like he's a blue collar guy when he's not. Simple.
So is it stolen valor when you use shampoo?
Take your hat off. Take your hat off.
Oh, that's the best.
I'll give him credit there. That was a roast. But X, take your hat off there. Why don't you do your thing? Take your hat off.
Oh, X, that's the best ever.
That's a good clapback. I can't. There's not much I could do. There's not much I could do about that one. X, take your hat off. Do me a favor. Take your hat off.
There's
Why
no
don't
need.
you?
There's no need.
Jeez.
If you're gonna make hair comments, I want to see your hair.
My hair is a hell of a lot more than yours.
Oh, look at that, Jesus!
Look
Oh,
at that.
goodness.
Wait a second. Oh wait. No,
X
TJ's
isn't
already
much
got a hat
better.
on.
X is much better. I'll tell you
Oh
that.
my God.
I give him credit. That was a good one. That was a good
This is
thing.
hilarious. Pull up snorkel jacket, please.
Oh yeah, snorkel jacket.
Pull up snorkel jacket. And TJ, let me just pull up the picture first.
All right, I'm getting it. Okay, let's.
Why is it not up yet?
Give me a second. You
Get the snorkel jacket. Don't wait too long on that snorkel jacket. You should have pulled it up.
Here it
already.
is.
Okay, you see that snorkel jacket, TJ? If you had a snorkel jacket, maybe that would be a stolen valor jacket for TJ, would it not, X?
Yes.
With the hair on the top.
Yep.
Very impressive.
It's not the same. It doesn't carry the same weight.
That's why I wanted the snorkel jacket pulled up earlier. There he is. There's TJ. Oh, that's a woman. Yeah, it is TJ right there.
Oh,
No offense. I think my comment was better.
It was better because it was so just brilliant. Someone's got to clip that. That's got to be clipped. That's got to be clipped.
Swinging and missing across.
That should be on the intro to every Islanders Never Say Die podcast interview, and that should be the opening for this show all the time.
We
and
need
the
Tony
Islanders Never Say
Cheese.
Die.
We need Tony Cheese. We got to call upon the favor of Tony Cheese.
That has to happen. It was so brilliant, and it's got to start with you ranting about stolen valor, and then extra whammy.
Go ahead, continue on.
Oh my God! All right, we already read this comment. That's what started this whole thing. X. Thomas Anthony says thoughts on Manning taking over at Texas.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Archie or whatever his name is. Arch Manning.
Yeah, I honestly, he kind of throws borderline underhand as well, but he's much more physically.
He's
gifted.
more mobile than the Quinn
Yeah,
Ewers kid is, so he brings a lot more to the table. I
Do
think.
you think he'll have success there? Yeah, I think he will.
I thought he fumbled that ball, by the way, in the game.
I definitely did as well. I
was close.
absolutely thought that ball was moving before he was down, but
It was mighty close. Mighty close. Drew says George Pickens is an average receiver, but he acts like Chase Claypool on steroids. Yeah, he's dope. Just, I hope Tomlin smacks the shit out of him. Drew says, you know who had a sneaky good draft class? Tampa Bay. Absolutely. Graham Barton, Jalen McMillan, and Bucky Irving are also good. Absolutely. Jeremy Light is a really good GM. He really is. They know what they're doing there. Drew says Grumpy Wee Hoopin's name is Cody Hazelton. Doesn't he look like a Cody Hazelton?
No, I've never ran into a Cody Hazelton. In my life.
Hazelton. He looks like a Hazelton. Goon says, TJ, how is the Wiener Schnitzel at Bucky's? Better than the sushi?
Oh, I don't need any of that though. I don't need sushi there.
Freedom Fun Adventure goes.
Oh, sorry.
Whoops, I don't know what he said.
you guys watch some absolutely bizarre stuff. Does Doc Page and fiance Y know you guys watch that weirdo stuff and find it amusing?
Which stuff are they talking about? We hooping?
Yes. We hooping with the dildo and then we hooping effing the Lamar Jackson jersey.
Yeah, let me tell you something. They do both watch weird shit, different types of weird shit. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with the two of you?
All right,
TJ likes to watch stuff where, what do you like? When people get blown up? Stuff like
I
that?
like a whole bunch of different things, but we won't get into it here.
Okay.
You're good, Grump.
Which early Judge Apatow show was superior, Freaks and Geeks or Undeclared? Is Phil Spax running scared? I mean,
It's a movie question, so I feel like you would have liked it.
Freaks and Geeks was good.
By the way, those are TV shows, not movies.
It says show.
Okay,
It says show, not movies.
Maybe he's got more. Maybe he's got more hair growing on his ears than he has on his head. I know Freaks and Geeks has a lot of people who are like big stars now.
A lot,
yeah. Their first shot at fame, and it was okay.
I liked it.
I didn't see much of Undeclared, so I can't comment on that. And is Phil Spax running scared? Yeah, he always is. Alex Monroe says, if Canada becomes the 51st state, will it be Hockey Night in America? Why not?
I think it's going to be Hockey Night.
Another thing that Trump just says to drive the liberals crazy. It's
Alrighty. John Collins is part of the Islanders ownership group and has worked in the NHL for decades. He knows who the front office talent is for a consultant in the next GM. Hashtag facts.
Well, he's not doing his job.
Let him start getting a little bit more control.
Drew says X looked like that Homer Simpson meme where he hides in the bushes.
X. Lazy
Why are
mother.
you leaning back so far, X?
I was
You get
doing the
one-
meme again.
You get one good
Lazy
little joke off. That doesn't mean you can slough off.
He shows up one podcast and has one performance every quarter, every fucking 3 months, and now he'll go back to his invisible, not showing up self.
Freedom Fund Reg goes, like father, like son. Do you really want to go there, Grumpy? Yeah, but I'm the exception that proves the rule. Drew says, so to recap this podcast, TJ loves Quint Ewers, is
I
a
do not.
tyrant on the road, hates the Steelers, hates Mike Tomlin,
Yes.
thinks only 3 teams in the NFL are actually good, and only 3 quarterbacks are good. That is a fair assessment. Who are your
I'm
3
very tough
quarterbacks?
on QBs. I'm very tough on quarterbacks. I am.
Who are your 3 quarterbacks, TJ?
I mean, like I think Mahomes. I think Josh Allen is good. Oh shit! I'm thinking here.
Burrow.
Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I give it to Burrow. He had a
That's
good
it?
season this year.
So you're going 2.5, actually?
No. They're all really good. They played well this year. I mean, I think there are other guys who
Mahomes
can
didn't.
be
Mahomes
quarterbacks.
played like shit this year.
Jim Mahomes played like shit. Drake May is phenomenal if he didn't play for a shitty ass team.
He's going to be good. He's only 21. Drew says, get him, X. That was hilarious. Gungun says, what was the very best Seinfeld episode? Is Dogsy's water bowl made of 14-karat gold? That's a no.
No, it's like a little stainless steel thing that he drinks out of.
And I don't think there is just a one Seinfeld episode. There's so many. The puffy shirt one is great.
Yep.
That's also with the burned hands. I thought that was a great one. Those are 2 really good. Freedom Fund Ventures. Someone clipped that. Is it stolen valor when you use shampoo zinger? Yeah, it was beautiful. That needs to be clipped. Someone please do that for us, because I want that at the front end of every single show we ever do ever on the Islanders Never Say Die or this show. That is the open. That's the cold open to this show and the Islanders Never Say Die show. It has to be. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious, and it's going to go viral. It absolutely will. Drew says X is invisible the majority of the time. TJ's hairline is invisible all the time.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Someone has to clip that. Drew, please help us out.
Hit the thumbs up, says Frank.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, let's wrap things up here today. Grumpy and X, what do you want to say before we end the show tonight?
TJ's bald. Don't make fun of him too much, but we want to see that every single show. Love and laughter to everyone who listens, and even those who don't, from TJ, Son X, and the Grumpy Old Man.
And X, what do you want to say before we wrap things up?
Appreciate the interaction in the comments as always. Love interacting with everybody there. Appreciate everybody coming out listening to the show, and we will see you guys next time.
Yes, thank you everybody for watching the show here today. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Thank you so much, Grumpy. Thank you so much, X. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the engagement, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.